Hop in when you want.
What's up, colleagues? Tori, I was going to start the show by insulting the incredible shadow that you have on you. There was a series that used to come on. I know some of our colleagues remember. It was called The White Shadow. It was about a white basketball coach that coached a black high school, and it came on, I think, up through the early '80s. But I remember seeing that, and it just reminds me of not the set, but just the saying, White Shadow. And I do want to say this, Tori. The reason I love our colleagues is, like, while we were going over last second stuff for the show and the stories we're going to cover, I'm just like reading the comments, and our colleagues were just talking about sunsets.
No, it's because of the daylight savings. Things have
I
really
know, but it was really
Okay.
great to just hear people like not talking about horrible stuff. Have you been on camera for how long has the show been going?
I'm sorry.
I need an
Colleagues.
1
minute 17 seconds. 1 minute 17
Okay,
seconds.
you went 1/60th of the show with no microphone. That's amazing.
I'm sorry. Wait,
what is? Yeah, usually you do these before the show
starts.
starts.
No, it's not. Now it's working.
There we go.
Okay.
All right. Good. How embarrassing.
By the way, I asked everyone yesterday after going to hot yoga. There's this one teacher who talks like she's from California, but she's the hardest, most amazing teacher. So she's like, lift one leg, keep it going. You can give me all the nasty looks you want. And it was like, it's amazing. Anyway, I asked right after to name something you're grateful for, just to write me something. I got thousands of you writing me about sunsets, about a text from your nephew, about your son not fighting with your son, about one more day with your cat who's losing their eyesight, that you were alive this morning. It was so amazing, Al. It was like a load of gratitude that I got to receive. It was so nice. So I'm going to keep doing that, and with different things. So today's topic is, what did you do today that gave you that childlike spark of play? Was there anything you did that gave you that play?
I went to Sam's Club and they had tahini. I got 2 bottles for $8.
See?
Yeah, so like Spice Game on 10. If you don't have tahini, unless you really are a person, some people do not like spice, and tahini is not for you. But if you like a little bit of spice, it's not going to like destroy the food, but just give it a little kick up. Tahini will be the difference when you take a dish somewhere and everybody goes, Tori, thanks for bringing food, but who brought the dish with tahini? That's going to be you. When you're ready to level up your, what do you call those drinks that you put on the rim? Micheladas?
Yeah, or is it margaritas?
No, a michelada is...
It's tomato juice and beer?
Yeah, with tahini on the rim. That's what they used to have. I told you my old dive bar in LA, 90 West, was a Raiders bar, and that's what they would drink in the morning is micheladas.
Wow. Just so you guys know, Brandon always gets a tahini rim on his marg. So does Sam Shocker, our beloved co-host.
Oh, yeah.
That I bought her tahini. Also, I'm really happy about Michael Dean. He was grateful for doing, the dentist said he's doing a really great job keeping his teeth plaque free. Guess who has to call the dentist?
You have to call a dentist. That after you call the dentist? Get that dentist on the phone.
I need a dentist. Where's my dentist? Is he in his tent?
Dentist. Don't you like how you can't misspeak once without being attacked by your loved ones?
It's like so hard, even a little bit like dentist. Great.
What's going on with your grill?
My teeth?
Yes.
Oh, I just haven't gone because of the anxiety of just picking up a phone and calling the dentist. And a lot of people said that to me yesterday. They were grateful for going to the dentist because it's a task they've been putting off. It's just something you don't want to do.
Can I just tell you, I'm working on a conspiracy theory, colleagues, and it's that we are victims of misinformation. And that's like the way that we like view things. We're like, oh my God, that's like going to the dentist to get a root canal. I've had a couple root canals, no problems. Didn't feel anything. Wow. Going to the DMV. Oh, I gotta wait. No expedited line. You can check and see if anybody's there. Usually the kiosk handles most of your stuff. If you don't have your paperwork, they'll tell you don't wait in line, go home, get your ID and come back. DMV, a breeze. All the things that like
pleasure.
A pleasure even. When the dentist that we all used to go to when we first started DBL right on
oh yeah, that one. We all went there.
The last time that I went there was this, dare I say, smoke show.
I know who you're. She was gorgeous.
But she was like a hippie kind. She had like that skinny neck tattoo that had like music symbols. She was like, and she was talking to me about going to Burning Man, like
so cool.
the entire time. And after our session was over, after they sit there and call out the numbers for your cavities, have they done that?
Yeah, 4.
Yeah. And you're like, that is that, and because I think is it the lower number is worse?
Yeah, they say like G1, and then they'll go, ooh, G3, and I'm like, well, what's that? And they're like, that's bad.
Yeah, because they bring the dentist in once the hygienist is done cleaning and has the X-rays, and then they'll go through and they'll give a number as to how deep the cavity is and how much of a problem it is. So they'll just be like the first, okay, they'll be like your molars. They'll be like 8. You're like, okay, 8, 9, 7, 4, 3, 2,
1,
2,
1,
2, 3, 2. You're like, gee, my whole front mouth is fucked.
Well, I started reading, by the way, a lot of you were saying you like the dentist, like good for you. That's weird. But I started reading Tiny Habits, and they said if you want to learn to
about
floss,
men with small penises and how they still have value. No. That's not it?
What a weird niche book that would be.
Okay.
No, that it was, if you want to start flossing your teeth, floss one tooth. Start by flossing one tooth, and then the next night 2. But he said that the idea of making habits change so small that you actually feel good doing them is the way that our brain works best on creating habits.
You know what? My girl, who we've talked about before, we've talked about personality types. She's very organized and, good with numbers, all that kind of stuff. She has a dental routine at night, no matter what, flossing, brushing. It's the same order. I don't care if we're on the road, where we are. It's the same thing. And I think for me, habits were harder. And I'm sure there's some colleagues that are like this. If you're not used to spending every night of your life at home,
yeah,
you just have different, because it's like, oh, I'm in Minnesota this weekend and I'm out with Tori till 2 a.m.
Right.
I'm flying to Phoenix in an overnight, so I didn't even sleep in a bed. So it's harder for me to get a routine, even though like I am home a lot more. So, and speaking of routine, I was just gonna say really quickly, Tori, I just booked a gig for the end of December in Key West. So if we got any viewers in Florida, come on down.
I always want to go to Key West. I've always wanted to go. Always.
Oh yeah, you would love it. It's just like love it. It's a very free, like it's I would say it's the closest place in the United States besides New Orleans to being in the islands.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go. In fact, I have a secret Pinterest board that's called the Florida Keys to My Heart. I'm not kidding. I do want to say something very quickly.
You should go with us. My gig is over Christmas. You don't have anything to do. Sarah's going to go. You guys should go.
I would love to go. I just want to mention really quick, Element. Oh, I just got that it says Element. Anywho, Element, ELA Mint, makes a dental floss for people like, who said it? They have really tight teeth. They're very thin floss. So that's what I started doing.
Oh, that's
Element. We should get sponsored.
All right. And Tori, before we get to our first story, I did want to say this because yesterday, I don't know how we were talking about Erica Kirk and her Get 'em Girl pants. And I remember one of the colleagues says Al knows a lot about Erica Kirk. And I didn't know exactly, because it was a long time since I listened to the story. So I went back and I took some notes. This has nothing to do with what we're going to talk about, but just so we know why I think Erica Kirk is weird. She was born Erica Lane Francie. Okay, that's normal, right? And her dad chaired the arms division for Raytheon. That's interesting. And her mom moved to Phoenix to work in Homeland Security. So 2 parents in national defense, just like everybody on here, right?
Always. Tons of
Right.
gum.
And in 2012, we talked about it. She won a beauty contest that Donald Trump, they're the Get 'em Girl pants, that
There's
Donald
the crop
Trump,
top and the look. Look at the look and the arm on the shoulder, and she's about to touch the hair.
yes.
The hair.
And really quickly, I'm gonna just say this because I'm channeling my inner Marcella right now. My grandmother never looked at another man after my grandfather passed away. That is your decision. I applaud anybody that does. Some people do not. The idea of putting those pants on 2 months after your husband died, my grandmother would have stopped cleaning her silver to just give that a look. There is a code, dog.
You just don't wear pleather. It's like after that.
It's
Like,
just not a
was-
great look.
No.
So
And yeah.
she wins this is quite a life story. She wins the beauty contest, one and only that was run by Donald Trump.
Donald
Then
Trump.
at 23, Tori, what were you doing at 23?
I was starting my acting career in New York.
Okay. I was in Miami finishing up grad school and trying to drink all of the vodka that was in the city.
Yep.
And I was also doing a lot of skiing.
Oh.
Well, what she decided to do was move to Romania and start a children's charity that focused with orphans. And you know,
very admirable.
yeah, it is. They were called Romanian Angels. And what would you guess this organization was suspected of doing and eventually closed down because of what? Of all the crimes. All the crimes, car theft, money laundering.
Does it rhyme with debezzlement?
Nope.
Was it like
think more like traffic?
sex trafficking, Romanian children?
Yeah. You know, at 23. So that just goes away. And she comes back here, keeps a low profile until she set up with Charlie Kirk. They get married. TPAC USA pays for their marriage. Charlie Kirk then dies. And now she runs it. Interesting life. Wow. Interesting life. It's almost like it was set up. All right, Tori, let's get to our first story.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We are. Yeah.
So she.
Tori, we cannot go down an Erica Kirk rabbit hole because we're about to talk about somebody that I'm sure you, as a political nerd, have a lot of thoughts on. Dick Cheney has passed away. And is there a term for people? I know there's like the Mandela effect when people feel like they witnessed something that they didn't, or something happened that they didn't. But what do you call it when people think that somebody's already been dead? Like a lot of people.
Yeah, the
think
Mandela effect.
Is that it too? Like when James Earl Jones, everybody thought that he had to send tweets like "I'm alive."
Yeah, I mean, I think the Mandela effect came from Nelson Mandela. People thought he died, but he actually became the president of South Africa.
No, I think it was that a lot of people said that they were there when he gave the speech when he got out of jail.
Oh, I didn't think that was it. But anyway, yeah, it's when
Michael Dean. I can already see Michael Dean's already looking it up. So Michael Dean, pop on when we have the exact definition for Mandela effect. Tori, what are your thoughts on Dick Cheney dying at 84? I think it's fair to say he was polarizing. So what are your thoughts?
Two things to say. One, he changed the course of a vice. I have to close these curtains. I just can't. What is that? Should I close them?
Okay. You do something. No, you should. It's going to get darker. You got to. Okay. You can't go full curtain now. No, that's even weirder.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, okay. You just got to stay in the shadow.
By the way, a lot of you were talking about the Marjorie Taylor Greene on The View, and I was very surprised about her civility and how she's gone against.
I want to talk about that as well. Let's get to that right after Dick Cheney.
Okay.
Tori, really quickly, tell everybody what the Mandela effect is.
It's a phenomenon where a large group of people collectively misremember the same event, fact, or detail. And I thought it came in because people thought Nelson Mandela had died in prison, and everyone thought that. But maybe I don't know if that's true. But it's like there's a movie with Shaq. that people remember that like never existed, that a bunch of people remember. Anyway, very strange thing.
All right. Well,
Okay.
so what are your thoughts on Dick Cheney? Very polarizing.
Okay. Very quickly, two things. One, I think he was a man that changed the course of history for the role of the vice presidency. He
Look
was
at
the
those effing dorks.
I know.
This is
Remember
who's
he shot his
running the
friend?
country.
He shot his friend with going quail hunting in the face with a
Yes, he
shotgun.
was sitting in the car. He didn't even get out of the truck to shoot, and he shot his friend in the face, and they tried to cover it up. Go ahead.
So I will say this is the thing that is, you know, I'm not saying positive, but an important thing is that he changed the course of what a vice president has in terms of he almost became more powerful than the president himself. And he had planned that for a very, very, very long time. I don't think that's Dick. Oh, that's the quail
guy he
shot.
shot.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
As soon as he got shot, though, Tori, he was like, "Is it bad?" And they were like, "No."
Yeah,
you can't barely see it.
That's terrible. So one, he very much had he really did change history in terms of what the vice president can do, the powers that be. And Bush became someone who looked up to Dick Cheney instead of the other way around. And so he has forever changed what the vice president can be. Secondly, I think he's a horrific war criminal. Just saying, a war hawk like we've never seen before. And I think Halliburton, although someone in my family may represent people from that firm and whatever.
Your sister represents Halliburton?
No, my dad.
Okay.
I think there was a lot of situations in which things were tunneled and funneled and was pretty corrupt. And now the one good thing I can say is that his daughter came out as gay. And after being the evil man from Halliburton and the evil war criminal, he did change his stance a bit. So with his daughter. So I don't know. I don't have a lot of good things to say. He was called Darth Vader. That's very true. He did come against Trump against January 6th. That's also true. So I don't think he and Trump actually would get along. But they both are incredibly power hungry or very power hungry. So he changed the course of the vice presidency, but maybe some say not for the better.
Yeah, I mean, I think he also, not that he was the first, but he was one of the first major pipelines for like a major arms dealer like Halliburton or Lockheed Martin to have a direct path to the presidency. And you guys know that I'm a nerd and have listened to, I can honestly say, hundreds of hours of podcasting from historians about Iraq and Afghanistan. And a lot of what happened a lot with Cheney is because they were doing things once the ground invasion and the surges stopped working and they had to start using more nefarious tactics to find out troop locations and things like that. Bush would leave the office a lot, plausible deniability.
Exactly.
So basically made Dick Cheney the president.
That's what I mean.
Because a lot of times George Bush was not in the room.
Right.
So he could be like, I didn't know.
Exactly.
I didn't know.
That's what Reagan did with Iran-Contra. I had no idea, and they did it on purpose. And Dick Cheney wanted to expand the powers of the presidency, but then he wanted to step into that role. I mean, he really took over this country in a way that I don't think we know many major decisions were a Dick Cheney decision.
I will say this, don't forget the Department of Homeland Security was created after 9/11.
Yep.
And a little small organization we used to make fun of called ICE was created. And now ICE is beating up American citizens daily on Reddit.
Yeah.
So a lot of things came from that administration, and a lot of seeds were planted in terms of what the president's power and the executive branch's power is. When you go back and listen to the people that objected to the Iraq war at the time,
because there's no weapons of mass destruction,
right? And like how they were portrayed by the media, how they were by Democrats called P words and anti-American. You know what though? It's like, always do the right thing because it comes out and you look good later. Maxine Waters objected.
Good for her.
And yeah, it's just like, even back then there were some people, some congressmen that were like, we don't have anything.
We don't
Some
have
dude
evidence.
said
There's no evidence.
something, and and I think also in a weird way, the world of entertainment smoothed over a lot of that shit. Jay Leno and all those guys went out every night and they had we thought we were invading Iraq. Turns out we were invading wrong
Yeah, you make
country.
it a joke. You make it a
Yes,
joke.
and it's like millions of people died.
Yeah.
What
For a
if
mistake.
Can you imagine? Yeah, a mistake.
Yeah.
You know, this is
talk about oil mistake.
yes. Isn't it interesting how it's always a country that's got something we want? Who are we going after now? Venezuela. What do they have, Tori?
I think they have oil and minerals.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Get
I really
out
do.
of Dodge.
Yeah.
And we were in Afghanistan. What did they have?
I think they had oil and opium.
Yeah, and now what kind of problem do we have in this
We
country?
have an opiate problem.
That is so weird.
Yeah. They have heroin with the poppies that are grown in Afghanistan.
If
Yeah.
only there was a connection. I don't know. All right, let's move on to the next story. All right, let's get a little. I'm gonna use this one just because it's a little sexy.
To be near you feels like heaven in the afternoon.
Oh, Tori, we're talking sexiness, and for once, we're not talking about me. We are talking about the sexiest man alive.
Oh my God,
Dick
it's not
Cheney.
Cheney.
Michael Dean is laughing.
Man.
That's a good-looking man. He looks startled.
No, he looks focused on you, like he's gonna pounce on you.
That's the look I have when a guy is about to get naked into the hot tub at the gym, and I'm like, I didn't sign up for this. That's my face.
I think it's a fantastic call. He is openly gay, wonderfully sexy, has done some really great acting.
And what?
He was in Wicked. He was in Bridgerton. He is the first openly gay man. Thank you, Michael Dean, who's actually been named Sexiest Man Alive. So the pendulum is swinging, and they're thinking outside the box. And I think he's damn sexy. He dances well. He sings well. He acts well. Apparently, everyone loves working with him. And that face. I mean, ladies, gentlemen, if you saw that and you were in the pool, and he was like, "Hey," and you're like, "Yeah," and then you turn around, and he goes, "Hey." Like, okay.
You know what though, Tori? I'm gonna push back because they're dudes like me. Anytime like a guy like that is around or even on TV, we resent him because your girl likes him. Because your girl just gets quiet. She just because she's going through all the scenarios.
Oh my word! With the dog.
Like Michael Dean, go back to the picture it was just on. Okay, and then
so sexy.
Wait like 5 seconds and then go to the other picture. Here's what Sarah will be like. Yeah, we need to go to the grocery store. I need onions for if we're gonna make that stew that my mom's gonna make, and so whenever I don't care when we can go. It's just like, and then the dog, we get it, bro.
And the
dog is staring at his 8-pack.
It's like an American. But he's British, I believe. I think, or Australian. No, I think he's British. Am I
He's
right?
definitely British because the beach was made of rocks.
Yeah, you're right. And look, he's eating. Is that a fish and chip? I don't know if that's true.
That looks like it is.
Wicked,
yes.
if you guys didn't see, but I just think he has a really good model expression. Like if he had a watch on, that's a great watch ad. Like passed down,
Yes.
like, you know what I mean? He was also in Jurassic World Rebirth, Fellow Travelers, Crashing, and both Wicked movies. He is from the UK. That's what I thought. So he's got that great accent. Oh man.
You know what else he has that I think a lot of people that pick these world sexiest people, especially sexiest men, are figuring out is there are some men that look just like beautiful models, but there's some men that are attractive because they look a little weathered.
Yes.
And that's him. He kind of looks like he's been out, like he's actually like worked outside.
Fisherman. He's a lobsterman.
Yeah, he's got muscles not from just the gym. Yeah, that looks like an AI. If you like type in the guy that's going to steal my girl from me while I go to the bathroom.
And he has great fashion sense. He's an intellectual. He does theater as well, like Michael Dean. said, and I just think it's a really good pick. The one with the dog, man, that's not bad.
Yeah, that's do
yeah.
you think okay, we're gonna make this for everybody, heterosexual, homosexual, however you
Yeah,
do
that
you
is his
think,
dog. Yeah, I know.
do you think if you cheated with him, Michael Dean, I want you, Michael Dean, pop in on this too.
Yeah.
And Tori, this is for if you had a partner.
Okay.
If you cheated with that person, your ex or if they didn't break up with you, your partner would be upset. But do you think there'd be a part of them that would be like,
impressed?
You had to go for it, dog. You had to do it.
I think if anything, Mitchell might be jealous.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's some people that are so good looking. I think Sar would be devastated. But if there was like, there are some people that are so attractive that you're just like, it's like not getting on Jeff Bezos's yacht if you had a chance. You gotta do it. You know, I don't know. Yeah, he's a good looking man.
And also, especially when he speaks to you like this and says,
yeah,
come to bed, darling. Come to bed.
I do wonder this. What does he think this world is? Because
below him,
it's just like he doesn't understand it. Like, other people, when you talk to them, don't get flustered.
Yeah.
You know, like everybody he's ever spoken to is like fawning on him. And I'm sure he's been good looking since he was probably 13, 14 years old. So like his whole life has just been people reacting to how
hot you are,
stunningly good looking he is, you know, and how that would shape your view of just like, oh yeah, if Tori, Michael Dean, if you want to go to the hottest nightclub, we'll just go. And you're like, it's midnight. There's a line around the corner. He's like, it's fine.
I know. That's people like that. I do want to say ELC. Someone said, I think C-Dog P said, I want to see him with cats. C-Dog P, I want to see him with a cat instead of a dog. And ELC said, I don't think he's into cats. A good one, ELC.
There is a big market for obviously the dog is like the way to go to get most of America.
That's his dog, yeah.
But I think the cat demographic is smaller but more fearsome.
Agreed.
So if you were a model and you were like, I'm sorry, dogs just don't do it for me. I have two cats. Their names are Willie and Lester. And you would have a following that if you ran over a child, they'd be like, I think it was the kid's fault. Yeah, it's just like, I bet you cat people are very loyal. We got to figure out how to make them colleagues too. All right, Tori, let's go to the next story. And this one is not as great. Ugh.
Oh.
I know, I hate this. I hate this guy. I'm going to put him here. Tori, we're talking Prince Andrew. Michael Dean, he has lost all of his titles.
He's been
all he's got left is
out.
Dirtbag.
Yeah, dirtbag or sexual predator, allegedly, I think. But he's also been forced out of his royal lodging, which had 31 rooms that he lived in with Fergie. And he has been kicked out. And you know what happened? I don't know if we have this, Michael Dean, but the tweet that went out said, we are taking away the titles. He will no longer be living in the residency. They kind of told you everything, like a real dressing down out. And at the very end, they say, and we as royalty stand with victims and survivors of abuse. And I thought,
that's the way to do it.
That's the way
to do it. Stop denying it, steer into it, address it,
totally.
And show that you're with
different
the people.
Monarchy. Totally. I was like, why can't we get that under our belts and understand? Like, and the comments were like, that's how you stand up. That's when you say, I refuse to accept it, that there are consequences to this action. And I'm like, damn, I love how Renate's like, Jonathan Bailey is sexy. He really is. I'm just so proud, not proud. It was very gratifying for people who have been victims or survivors, I should say, of SA, to see the royal family dress him down, take away his princedom, take away his housing, and call him out. and then say we stand with the survivors. Unbelievable.
I
Unbelievable.
just thought of the ultimate punishment for him.
Is it like you can only date at a senior citizen home?
No, not even that. Worse. For the rest of his life, since he is banished from the royal kingdom, he has to spend the rest of his life in isolation on Epstein Island. Just him on that empty island. No family. He never sees another human being. It's like, think about all the horrible stuff you did here.
Yeah.
Just you and your thoughts.
Yeah.
And I don't care how luxurious, no TV, no internet. I just want you to sit on the beach, bro. Look at the waves and think about that. Everybody in the world knows you're a dirtbag.
Totally.
I kind of want to take back a take that I had, because I was like, oh, it's not a big deal that he lost his titles, but it kind of is. It's the first time that like we've seen some real action happen
for anyone,
to somebody that was untouchable.
Yeah.
He's untouchable.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I am very happy. Do you think that the Royals can move on from this now?
To be honest, with the way they're handling it, which was so careful, they first wanted King Charles to go to the lodge, but too many helicopters came by and it was turning into this big scene. And to be honest, King Charles isn't the most loved part of the royalty. Right now, you have Prince Harry, but really Prince William, who's going to be king very soon, I assume, is the one they're all looking up to. And he was the one who went out and spoke to Andrew and told him he needs to leave, or else I'm taking away your daughter's titles, which is such leverage. Like Princess Beatrice and Eugenie would lose their princess titles, and they do a lot of work for the royalty. That would be a huge deal, and it worked. And then to say they stand with the survivors, all of that was done well. I think they can move on. I really do. I think Prince William is doing a really good job in this situation. So Prince Andrew will now be known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, Charles's brother. His lease on Royal Lodge has today provided him with legal protection. Formal notice has now been served to surrender the lease, and he will move to alternative private.
The Holiday Inn Express in Bakersfield. I want him to be in an extended stay, and just like Americans coming and going for their daughter to come in 4th place in a beauty pageant in the Ramada down the street, and just talking, who are you, buddy? Yeah.
Are you that guy?
He needs to become a man of the people.
Yeah.
All right, Tori, let's stay on this subject, and let's do this right now. Oh, Tori, it's time to keep it moving. Sponsored by Spider Moving and Storage. They have held us down since day one, stayed with us as a sponsor, even though we advertised the wrong phone number for, dare I say, months.
I would say like many moons.
Many moons, but Vlad is rad, and Vlad and those boys will take care of you. You guys remember, if you need to move, which you eventually will, and even if you just like for me, if you just go, I have a gigantic table. We are all, and I'm speaking for all of us colleagues, and please remember this when a friend asks you to help them move. We're too old. We have passed that. I've still had some friends like, are you free on Saturday? I'm like, I am, but I can't. I cannot. I can't. It's too dangerous. Call Spider and just let him take care of it. And
let Vlad do the work.
Yes.
Vlad.
In college, it was like, hey, come help. I don't know if I've ever told you this story. My friend, who will remain nameless, even though he's divorced from this woman now. She was as Trump would say, a nasty woman. She was very unpleasant. But they got married, and me and my boy Daryl from Cleveland, shout out CLE 216, you know how we do, Cavs, Buckeyes, Browns, Guardians, let's go.
How embarrassing.
And so my friend was like, hey, can you help us move into our home? You know, moving from their college dorm and her stuff into their home. And so my friend Daryl and I showed up in Columbus, Ohio, and we thought it was just going to be a few things. Tori, do you know the big rider trucks? The big ones that can like take like a 3-bedroom house somewhere? We filled that bitch up. It took hours. And we drove to the place, and I thought there were going to be people to unload it. And I'll never forget, my friend Daryl is such a nice dude. And we were so exhausted. And we got to the place and there was like a pizza and she just immediately was like, okay, so the couch I think should be in the basement. We unloaded that bitch. We probably moved furniture for 16 hours. All the furniture, bedrooms, dressers.
And all you got was a pizza?
We were friends. They didn't pay us. I just had that memory unlocked just because I remember my friend Daryl's face in the passenger seat when he realized like, oh, we have to unload this truck we just loaded. Anyway, don't let that happen to you. Call Spider. All right. So Tori, the story that I wanted to do that inspired the Moving On by Vlad and Spider today is that looks like Justin Baldoni is moving on from his $400 million countersuit. What up with that though?
So I have the inside scoop here.
All right.
He countersued Blake Lively for $400 million. And the judge has now tossed it out for Spider to move. And my friend Jenny Slate, who you know, who played the sister of Justin Baldoni in the movie, was subpoenaed and had to speak in the court and testify. And like you would a salad. Thank you, Michael. You toss that salad. Oh, is that bad to say?
That's how you stay in a relationship forever.
That's right. And this became so much bigger than it ever. No one thought it would get this big. I think Taylor Swift was also subpoenaed. I don't know if she went in because she was very close with Blake at the time. They've since somewhat cooled their relationship. But in many of the songs that Taylor sings, she uses the Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds' names, like the kids' names. So Inez, Betty. She likes to use them because they were so close. Now there's rumors out about Ryan Reynolds, and there's this interview he did with a child on the red carpet, and he was not kind to the child, which is so not what I thought about Ryan Reynolds. He was very condescending and rude, and he's getting a bad rap now too at certain red carpets and some press events. So I don't know. It's not looking good for Blake. Blake's really lost a lot of fans with the way that she promoted that movie. Instead of talking about DV or domestic violence, which Justin was doing, she talked about her alcohol line and her hair care line. And so it just didn't read well. And then this, and then the lawsuit, and it was just so much. So they're trying to regain their, they were really loved as a couple. And I think they're trying to regain that right now.
I remember covering the story on DBL, and it just, as soon as they said, because they were still, I think they were just about to start the rollout for the movie, and they were like, Ryan Reynolds came in and they rewrote the last scene. And at that time, Blake Lively's Q score was through the roof. She was beloved by everybody.
That's right.
And I was like, I don't know if that's a great idea. I can understand as a director, your first big film based off one of the biggest books in modern history, and some rando is going to come in and be like, we're going to redo the last scene, because you know what, if that last scene sucks and the movie sucks, guess what, no one's going to be like, way to take it on the chin, Ryan Reynolds. It's going to be your name attached to that. And so you want your artistic taste on that. So I could understand that being a problem. And then from there, the sexual improprieties started to creep up. But I remember that they didn't seem like slam dunks. We are discerning enough, sadly enough, as an electorate, as a group of people, where we know when something sounds like something foul was going on. You know, I was working at this place. The team would have outings without me. I was the only woman on the staff. They would leave crude pictures in the woman's bathroom. That's disgusting, foul behavior, or say things or grab whatever. But when somebody's like, you know, he asked about breastfeed, just like these weird kind of things that may be inappropriate, maybe they just seemed very on the line. And I think a lot of the public is still dealing with the fact that we caught a lot of monsters doing SA, but there were also some people caught up in that wash that probably had their name smeared that didn't deserve it. Obviously, I'm thinking about Aziz Ansari. There were some people that, because it was such a force of nature, because there was so much anger, rightfully so, about the injustices and miscarriages of justice that went on with women in the workplace. And that tidal wave, unfortunately, seems like it swept up some people that didn't need to be in there.
Yeah.
But that
Yeah.
being said, I think
And
the people were more sensitive to making sure that these accusations pass the smell test.
Yeah, and on the day of the opening premiere, she castigated the director, Justin, to the basement, and he wasn't allowed to watch in
Oh,
like the main
yeah.
theater, and they had their like funny pictures taking in the basement. And it just seems like, I don't know, someone wrote she lost touch with the public. It feels like that a little bit.
Well,
She doesn't have the same Q rating, is all I'll say.
Well, what do they say about power? It can corrupt, and it also can expose your character. And when you can do whatever you want, then we see who you really are. When
Mhm.
you kind of have to follow the rules, yeah, it's cool. But like when everybody but Tori has to follow the rules, yeah, maybe I might bring one of you guys in here to be a footstool for me. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And that's how that happens. That was actually remember that scene in Wolf of Wall Street when they were making the guys be like tables and stuff, and they were putting their feet up on them. It's just like that's what happens when you have power and you're a dick. All right, let's move forward because I'm really kind of interested in this one. This one's about parenting. All right, Tori, we're talking about Dax Shepard. We're talking about Kristen Bell, and we're talking about you disrespectful, no good kids. Tori, Dax Shepard and Kristen Bell said that their kids are not super respectful, that their kids talk that ish back to them, and they're okay with it because they want to raise kids that are going into a world in which if they have a boss that is not treating them well, if they have a situation that is unfair to them, that they will speak up and be advocates for themselves. So what do you think about this tactic?
First of all, I never thought of that. And Michael Dean, can you let us know if it's two girls? I don't know if I just wanted to get the breakdown of the kids, but after hearing that, I don't think they're being brought up as brats. I don't think that's what they're saying, but I think I will be honest with you guys right now. I'm not very good at standing up for myself if I'm in that kind of situation. As Al knew on DBL, if someone was rude or there was a fight, instead of like being able to confront the situation, I would run into the back of the backstage and just hide. And I'm like 40 years old at this time. So I wish I had been taught or learned how to be a little bit more, have more confidence that I would stand up for myself. I also think it's important. I am learning that it's two girls, and it happens a lot to women that they follow the rules and they are people pleasers and they don't stand up for themselves. And I don't hate this idea. I don't think they're acting like brats. Instead of they're learning how to stand up for themselves when they feel like the situation is unfair and can talk back. And I don't think that's that bad, but I'm not a parent. So Al, what did you think?
Well, you're not a parent, but you did have a great perspective on, understanding that you have struggled in the past. And I think we all do with advocating for ourselves, especially for people that present to be in a position of power. Tori, when I first saw the story, I weirdly thought about the documentary that was on Netflix. I think it's still on there. And to be honest, I laughed at it the first time I saw it, even though I shouldn't have. It was called Don't Pick Up the Phone. Have you seen that? It was about the string of this predator weird guy was calling McDonald's in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, and all over the country and saying, "Hi, I'm Agent Jackson, and we have a report that one of your female employees has stolen a wallet, and we need you to strip search her." And the managers would be like, this is the 90s. People are like, this guy says he's a cop. Why would he lie? And they would get a young girl employee, like 16-year-old girl, and this would be like, "This is Officer Jackson. I need you to remove your hat and your vest," and eventually like make these people carry out like a strip search that involved penetration, and it was crazy. Now, some of it was adults that were like, "All right, if I got to spank this 16-year-old," a couple guys went to jail because it was
Wow.
like, all right, dude, you knew.
Dang.
But I thought about those girls in that situation, and when they talked to them, you know, they were just like, I was raised by my parents to listen to authority. And if an adult is telling you that a cop is telling you to do something, you better do it, not even having the wherewithal to be like, give me the goddamn phone. Who's on the phone? Why isn't he here? Who's this person that's accused me of stealing their wallet? Where are they at?
I couldn't have said that better, because the only way I stood up for myself as a kid was my AP law instructor, who was like a Yale lawyer, was my favorite teacher ever. And he would have us sit and pretend to be pulled over. And what we could say in response, do you have to roll down the window? Can I please see your supervisor? What kind of warrant, or what have you recorded that shows me that you need to pull me over at this point? Do I have to get out of the car? It was like, it was so informing and so confidence building for me that I've used that many, many times. And again, I know you guys are like, don't be disrespectful and brattiness. It sounds like synonymous, but I was taught to be a goody two shoe and a good girl of all time, always teacher's pet. And I got in a lot of trouble a lot of times that I felt I couldn't get out of because I didn't know how to stand up for myself. I'm being 100%
even if you felt
honest.
you were in the right.
Or something was like, it really, this smells bad. I'd be like, okay. And like, you know me, I'm a strong feminist, but I still am working on that interpersonal skill. So I really, I kind of applaud. I could stand up to my parents, but not I don't know. There wasn't a way in which I felt they taught me to, if you feel something's wrong, say something. I'm sure they did tell me that, but my temperament was not that. And I could have used more help in that area, is what I'm saying.
Well, that was kind of the ethos of all people. You know, there was a period of time where your community helped raise you. If your mom had 2 jobs or something, it would be like, you know, Tori Shulman came over to the Jackson household, and my grandmother would have seen you no differently than one of us, and you would have gotten fed right along with us, and you would have gotten spanked, right? We didn't get spanked much, but like there was discipline too. And so that then allowed for uncles to sneak in there and just be like, all right, you know what you did, girl, you got to come in. Where you're just like, I didn't do anything. Why does he want me to go to the base? You know, but you didn't have the words. I think my kids would be like,
no way.
Your
kids would be like, what are you talking about? And I'd be like, I'll go down first, and I'd skip, because I honestly would just want to people please that badly. Like, and I can debate with the best of you. I really can debate all the way, but I cannot stand up for myself when something's wrong. And I remember the Oprah episode, and I know you guys remember this, when the man said, if you're as a woman and you're about to go into an elevator and you feel like the guy that's walking in with you is weird, you always just go in. And I was like, yeah, of course. I would never not go in. And he's like, you're fully entering a steel cage with someone that makes you uncomfortable with no way out because you don't want to hurt their feelings. And I was like, he's exactly right. He's exactly right.
Absolutely. There is something, and I talked about it a lot on DBL, and I'll say it till the end of time. There is something we try and cover it up with cologne and clothes and cell phones and technology, but we are animals.
Yeah.
And whenever you just look,
sense it.
Yeah, you always get, when you hear these accounts of people that were, you know, near the scene of like the Boston bombing or something, they're like, those 2 guys are just being weird.
Yeah, there was something off.
Thousands of people. Everybody's in a good mood. What is it? Patriots Day, I think that day is. You know, it's a bellwether day for that state. And yet, even though your husband's running the marathon, you're just like, what the F is that dude doing?
Right. Why is he wearing that in this weather or something like that? Yeah.
Something does. And even if you're wrong, or you're like, I shouldn't have stereotyped, there was just 2 black guys, I don't give a shit. There could be 2 black guys behind me. Doesn't bother me. And so I'm like, why have I seen them twice?
Right. Or why are they wearing even the
There's
guy
a
from
thing.
9/11, like in 9/11, I remember the airport TSA agent that let the guy through, one of the bombers. He said, I was so concerned by the way my skin crawled that I had him do an extra security check just because something felt weird about this man. And it's just really, really interesting. So, and by the way, I'm taking dialectical behavior therapy. For someone said you can rewire the brain. And
Mhm.
I'm learning skills like this, like interpersonal skills, sort of emotional regulation, distress tolerance. But I really hope I learn how to stand up for myself because it's danger. It's straight out dangerous how much
Michael
I've
Dean,
gone.
Tori, don't lose your train of thought. I want you to respond to what Julia just posted. Michael Dean, can you pop up Julia's last comment?
I remember one job they hired a guy I was very uncomfortable with. I couldn't pinpoint the reason. I refused to be in the same room with him, and he turned out to be a nut job. See, I would have been like, yeah, put him with me. Like, that's how, even though I would feel what Julia felt, I could not get the words. I still probably can't to say, I'm really uncomfortable with this. I know, never ignore your intuition. I totally agree with you guys. The problem is when it's right here and it's coming up, the words come out is like, is there anything I can help you with?
Right.
Why?
Yeah. And
Why?
also there is a socialization because if it is a man of color, if it is a man, period,
Totally.
if it's a person that is not is dressed in a cultural garb, and if it's them that's making you uncomfortable, and you're like, I've been around people around that cultural garb before, and I've never had this feeling, you know, you might still let yourself off the hook, but you might still, in the effort to not appear
Yes.
to
Yes.
be
You go the other way.
right, you go the other way, and you're like, I remember I read who's the woman that's married to Dwayne Wade?
Gabrielle Union.
Gabrielle
Gabrielle.
Union. Yes. She talks about because I gave her autobiography to my daughter. I believe it's called You're Gonna Need Another Glass of Wine or something like that. And she talks about and the essay that she was unfortunately subjected to, and memory serves, I'm like 99.9% sure that this is what she said, but basically she was working in a retail store. It was about to close. A young black man came in. She got the ick from him immediately, but was like, I don't want to be like that, especially to my own people. And he
Totally.
ended up assaulting her.
Wow.
And it's, yeah, I don't think that she has a problem with black men, but
No.
even a black woman is still subject to the, like, am I being guilty of what I accuse other people of doing?
Fair.
Instead of listening to her gut. So there is a little bit of socialization that we
Fair.
all do have to kind of work through. And I mean, that comes from a good place too. All right, Troy, I want to talk about this real quick because I know you be balling too. So let's see. Oh, we never get to use this one. Tori, we're talking food. Coffee, to be specific.
Yeah. This
Tori,
is insane.
there is a $980 cup of coffee in Dubai. Tori, before we get to the cup of coffee, I want to know what's the most money that you've ever spent on a meal, on purpose or by accident?
Okay. I think I spent a lot of money. I went to Mizuna. I think you guys know Mizuna. It's out in Denver here. And it was not, I didn't love it. I'll just be honest. And I spent
Wait, what is it's a fancy restaurant?
Yeah. Yeah. And I just didn't love the food. I didn't love the drink. It was my 40th birthday and it was just not good. And it was so expensive. But I'm trying to think. There's also Gary Danko in San Francisco. I went and it was like the most delicious meal of my life, or the Inn at Little Washington, which is just phenomenal. And the money was like, oh my God. But see, when it's worth it, that memory will live with me forever, that meal. Like I will never forget that meal.
I told you about that date that I went on when I was in LA with that girl, and we went to this restaurant and it was in a hotel, colleague. So I was like, I mean, it's a nice restaurant, but I didn't know what, and I've told you, it was like the food was like miniature. It was like for the Barbie movie, but it was like 2 tacos were like $25 and they were like this. I swear I'm not, they were like you could fit them in your fingers like that. And I was just like, and she's just like, well, do the plantains, and then we'll do the crap. Do you do the stuffed mushrooms? I'm like, absolutely not. Rando, I'm never gonna see again. It cost me like $400. I probably had $600 in my account. I had no money.
Was this the one where they sprayed the dessert with like a perfume?
Oh no, that was here in Denver. That was at like a Lebanese Middle Eastern restaurant. It was good, but it was like vegan too. So I'm like, there was no eating meat. This is just like y'all just making cute ways to make mashed potatoes. Oh, this is a purple potato. Is it cool? Why is it $38? Yeah, when they came over and they stayed one of those little perfumes, like old school, that's got the little bulb on the end of it.
It's called an atomizer.
Yeah, well, she atomized that shit for like $58. She sprayed like a toasted strudel.
She sprayed
basically.
saffron. I bet she sprayed saffron, which can be more expensive than gold. So
that certainly was. Let me get to the details of this coffee. Okay, it says the wait is finally over. This coffee is here. It says, Tori, why don't you read the description of this coffee in an accent that would be suitable.
Okay. According to the cafe, there are white floral notes like jasmine, citrus flavors like orange and bergamot, and a hint of apricot and peach. Like, who cares? I could just make some tea. $980. Is there it's made with Nido 7 geisha beans, which are grown on a plantation near Panama's Baru volcano. Okay, I have a quick story too. My mother went to French Laundry, which is like this very expensive restaurant in San Francisco, and it was like so over the top. 44 of the beans went for around $600,000 at auction. Oh my God. So anyway, she was having coffee and she told the waiter, this coffee is delicious. They took her into the kitchen and they showed her these beans and they showed her a mist that someone has to mist every like 5 minutes. And they're like, it's grown on the west side of the Guatemalan. She's like, I just like the coffee. Like, I didn't need this whole like thing, but like people take the coffee bean. I mean, that's insane. 980. How big is the cup?
And also, are you calling BS on this?
Well, someone just said about gaslighting.
I think rich people are very prone to being dumbbells because you don't know
around food.
Yeah, about anything. If I go, this pillow, it's the last of its kind. If I have a great presentation around it, I have a very serious, strong-jawed white male in his late 60s that just looks down his nose and he's like, I'm barely tolerating. He's like, this pillow was the last that was recovered from the royal palace of Dufala.
Where?
3, I just made that country up. 3 kings and queens have died actually trying to seek this pillow. We have it for you today. There is no asking price. When you offer, we will either accept or not. You have one chance to make one offer, and we will give you an hour. And then I walked away. Every rich person would be like, well, what is the Princess of Brunei gonna?
Yeah, right.
That this is Temu Central.
Yeah,
probably Wayfair.
It's someone said, wait, this is really funny. They said, for that much money, it needs to make me younger. But wait, where was it? Nicole Chambers, for $980, I want my coffee to wake up, massage me, and then put me to bed, singing an Italian lullaby.
Yeah, I think you might need to put a 1 on the front of that 9, and maybe that could happen. Yeah, you said you wanted
Dubai
it tall and dark. Yeah,
that's right. But Dubai is very I mean, it's where the richest of the rich go. But that to me just feels like, give it to someone else. If you have that much money, like, I just can't imagine. I can't imagine.
Or just this coffee story. It's weird because I thought about this as we were doing the story, and I told Sarah this, and it's like a story that I never said it on stage or anything. But when I lived in New York, I lived on one of my apartments was on 18th and 2nd, and I had a meeting at MTV, which was on 42nd and 7th. Yeah. And so I called the cab, and I was like, "Oh, let me get some coffee before I go, make sure I'm ready for my meeting." And there was a bodega up the street from me, and I never got coffee from there, and I always forgot why. And I got the coffee, and I got this back in the yellow cab days, and we're going cross town, and I take like 3 sips of this coffee, and I'm like, "Oh no, this coffee!" It was like an African, like kind of
like chicory.
There was some kind of spice that did not get along with my Cleveland stomach, and I took like 3, and I was like, "Oh!" And you're like, I can't get out. I have to be at this meeting, but things are like falling apart, and you're like trying to count backwards with the streets. You're like, we're on 6, We're on 5th. Well, okay. All right. Avenue of the Americas. Okay. 7th. Tori, I got to this guy's office and I made it. And I was like, where's your bathroom? And his assistant pointed, and it was in the waiting room. The door, like I thought it was like down the hall. And so I was in there for so long, I couldn't stop. I was in there for so long that I had to come up with a plan. And so my plan was I came out of the bathroom like on a fake phone call, and I'm like, my son fell at school. He doesn't feel good. And I was like, because there was no reason. Like the guy I had a meeting with was waiting. Like I was in there but I'll never forget like taking those sips. And I was like, this is good coffee. Oh,
No.
It's like there's certain beans and certain spices that like our American stomachs do not. Matter of fact, I pitched a show to my old agent when I was with William Morris, and I said, because I love hot sauce, I was like, I want to pitch a show where I try hot sauces from around the world. And they were like, we had a client that did that and burned a hole in their stomach in like 2 months.
Yeah, I mean,
you can't go over to Thailand, you Clevelander. Who do you think you are?
If
like
you could do Thai
taste.
spicy.
Yeah. I've seen some of those shows where they're like stirring the spices with the gas mask on, like the locals are.
Yeah, the ghost peppers. I mean, these things are like, this is like a very strong rating. I love that you came out of the phone being like, what's that? Yeah, no, he fell down.
He's okay. He just doesn't want anybody to go in that bathroom. I don't know. My son's really weird and
very strange about bathrooms.
Possessive about places he's never been.
Oh man.
All right, Tori, let's do this really quickly. Oh, and Tori, last fact about that story. I was pitching a show that I still think could be a good idea. The show's called Life is Gross. And it was just about all the bacteria all over and like what's like on your cell phone when you pull it away from your cheek, or like what's on a handrail. It's basically for like germaphobes.
I think that's bad. I think you would cause another generation of germaphobes. That's horrendous.
But if you're a germaphobe, you want to steer into that.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Be like, see, I was right. They do say the handrail on an escalator is like the grossest thing in America.
And they do say at an airport, when you finish taking your stuff into the boxes and security and you get your stuff back, that's the dirtiest your hand will be. So when you want to use hand sanitizers right after those buckets.
Oh.
Because they're not washed, and it's just all these people putting their dirty suitcases and stuff in there.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
I bet you also the straps that are on the like the rail, the rail line inside of the airport.
Train.
I bet you those, the train. I could not find that word. Yeah, it's probably super gross. All
but
right.
Don't overdo it, because then you'll actually end up antibiotic resistant. Okay, here's your fact of the day. They found out that people unconsciously can smell fear. And this is how they did it and make themselves fearful. They gave people in an MRI a tissue, and it had sweat or a napkin of people that had done something scary like skydiving. Okay. And they smelled it, and parts of their brain fear center, the amygdala, blew up. And inside they were unconsciously fearful for themselves. Then they handed them a tissue with exercise sweat. Nothing changed in their brain. So you can unconsciously get fearful and smell what sweat that's coming from fear.
That's interesting. I've heard that like some of the high-end steakhouses, they advertise that like basically the animals were slaughtered without them knowing it was going to happen, because you release like a hormone when you're scared to death.
Yes, exactly. A pheromone. That's why you have like chickens without being in cages, and they want it to be like the eggs to not be like fearful eggs.
You don't want anxiety riddled eggs at Denny's. That's what you're paying for with a fancy ass breakfast places. These animals were told they were going to Mexico after leaving Wheel of Fortune and were killed. Yeah.
And by the way, when you smell it, you're not like consciously smelling it. There's no difference. It's your body chemistry that picks it up. And that's why animals like horses can smell when you're fearful. And it's the same kind of animalistic thing.
Well, that's like my worst fear, is an animal that can sense my anxiety. That's why I don't want to get on a horse. It's bigger than me. I have no business. I'm not going to become a professional horse rider. I just always, in my whole career, it's just been me doing these things. I'm like, why are you up here? And it's like, oh, you signed a contract.
But you also you do the stand-up comedy for some people is the scariest thing that they could ever possibly do. So you do that well. And by the way, cantering on a horse through the aspen leaves in October in a dude ranch in Colorado is my top memory of as a child.
Do you know I could not do that? Because as soon as I get on that horse and get a mile out, what is my first thought?
I want to go.
I need to go to the bathroom.
I need to go.
Yeah, I don't want to be
You had that
anywhere where I
coffee.
can't use I don't know. I don't go to the bathroom that much. It's just like my anxiety is like I'm gonna be somewhere and I can't go to the bathroom. I don't know what that is. That's my like weird anxiety.
That's your fear.
Yeah, I don't like being enclosed in anything where I'm like, oh no, I can't go anywhere.
Yeah, your body is saying like I need to escape. And it's probably saying the bladder saying this is my way of getting out. Fight or flight.
I mean, it's a conversation for another podcast, but I definitely do want to get to the root of like what's going on with me where I don't want to be anywhere. I'm just always like, I don't want to do, because once I get there, I'm happy.
You
but
have
like
anticipatory anxiety.
What is that?
That's when you think about the event and your brain's like, I do not want to do this. But once you're there, you're not anxious.
Maybe that's it. Because I always like that, because my girl would be like, we're going to a panic room, or what do you call those things?
Escape rooms.
Safety. Yeah, a what?
Escape rooms.
Yeah, a escape room. And I'm like, I don't want to do this crap. And I get there and it's so much fun.
You're right.
You know, yeah. So it's
too.
like, I don't, but like, if it was up to me, that's why we said, like, I have so many of my dad's characteristics where I could get a place 40 miles outside of the city center and y'all wouldn't know me. I'd sit up here and talk with Tori for an hour a day and just stare out. I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to town a little while. I'll go grocery shopping like my dad did. I went to Sam's Club today like my dad did. But like, I think the only thing is I have a job that forces me to travel. And then once I'm traveling, I'm like, hey, it's my boy Greg Coleman. He lives in Minnesota. He's got two beautiful. Oh, my boy Hannibal Buress is going to be Italian. Yeah, you know, so I think that's the only difference. Otherwise, I would have become a lawyer and I would have been one. I'd be like, which one doesn't have to go to court? I'll do that.
Totally.
Yes.
My dad was actually at the best defense litigation firm in the country. And he got to court and he was like, well, I do not like this feeling. So he started the corporate section of their brand because he's like, this doesn't work for me. But, you know, sometimes people get anticipatory. So they're fearful before. But if you really kind of challenge and risk yourself to go and push yourself, you are like, what's so wrong about this? That happens to a lot of people. Oh, yeah, Nicole, you're going to be fine traveling. I know it. I can feel you're going to be fine.
Oh, wait, somebody doesn't want to travel.
Someone's traveling next week and she's super nervous. I was like that. I chat GPT'd how to get to the exit with like a visual. Like I was so nervous to go to San Francisco by myself, get a lift. Like, where do I go? The elevator. Like I was so nervous. And once I did it, confidence booster, huge confidence booster.
CP says to watch the movie Yes Man and do the opposite. I just, I don't know. I don't mind doing things. I'm just always, there's something about me. And maybe we all have stuff that we're fighting and we all have to find that thing. And for me, I don't think it's ever something as big as like, I just want to physically attack every woman I see. It's nothing crazy like that. We just all have something inside, like, you know, it's probably better for you if you get your ass up and go to dinner. I berate you. I'm like, come over and watch stupid football with me and Sar to get you out of the house. And then and I hope it means more to you that I understand, because I don't want to leave either. You know, so like we're all weirdos struggling with our own weird things and just making our way. So I think there's something kind of beautiful about that.
I agree. We're in our dens, our little animal dens.
Well, you promised the colleagues to get your shadow situation going, because now it just looks like you're wistfully thinking. It really does. It's really kind of a good look. There, it just comes to you. There we go.
Yeah, the daylight savings has changed where the sun comes in. So I have to figure that out. And by the way, my dad is going to be on the podcast. He's coming into town and we're going to get Jerry Schulman's opinions on either Monday or Tuesday. And we get to ask him. He's the most brilliant man ever alive. He went to Yale undergrad, Harvard Law School. Like, I can't ever live up to him. I'll always be underneath and wishing I were smarter, but you're going to love talking to Jer.
I love your dad. He's just such a good. He's a good soul,
He
and like
really is.
he reinforces what I've always said. The horrible people are loud, but there's so many great quiet people making this world. If everybody was, Donald Trump Jr., none of this would work. There's a bunch of people that are just like, hey, oh, Tori, I'm going to say one more thing before we go, just because it's going to melt your heart. So I was in Albuquerque this past weekend performing, and also Halloween is Sarah's nephew's birthday. And so Sarah asked her mom there on the phone, she's like, what do you want to do for your birthday? This kid turned 11, and he goes, I want to make care packages for the homeless and hand them out. And I was like, there's some about like when men are about to start crying, where like we blame it on the woman. Like, what'd you spray in here? Like it's something in my,
There's a bug. There's a bug in my eye.
I was like, I almost started crying when I said it right there. I was like, that's what and he didn't say like, oh, and I saw you, good kid. He just genuine. And when we were there were people brought over like a lot of juice boxes. Yes, Gabriel. Shout out to Albuquerque. Shout out ABQ. And it's just like, he's just a good kid. And like,
yeah, that's like my dad. That's my dad.
Yeah, it's just like there's a lot of good people out there.
There's a halo over his head. He was just born with it, and he's incredible. And I'll be nowhere as good as him for the rest of my life ever.
His party was at Jump Zone, and this year he had like a neurological situation where like he kind of lost the use of his legs for a couple weeks, and he had to like learn how to walk and stuff again. And when he blew his candles out, he was like, I want anybody that's struggling like me with their movement to regain their functionality just like I did. And I was like, what the F? I was like, bro, stop. It's like, hey, man. I was like, who is this child?
Yeah, and that gives me, someone said, gives me hope for the future. It really, really should, because there are those kids out there.
Yes. And really quickly, wait, who was that said that they're nervous about flying? I wanted to see exactly what that was. Nicole, I want to know exactly what is it just, I wonder if it's the actual flight.
But sometimes it's like, for me, it's the directions and logistics of getting to your gate. Like, is there a train? Do I take a shuttle? There's not a lot of signs. Like, I don't know. Yeah. That's my thing. That's my thing with travel.
Yeah. All right. Well, colleagues, you know how we do. We love y'all. Julia said, I'm not crying. You're crying. He almost got me twice. I was so like, he almost got me with the care packages. I was like, all right, you made it. And then he said the stuff with the kids and the people that have lost the use of their legs. And I was like, I'm going to go to the bathroom and turn the faucet on. No problem. It's just nothing to see here.
You come out, you come out 30 minutes later. My kid fell. My son fell.
I love you. Colleagues, I love y'all. We'll see you tomorrow. All right. Michael Dean, take us out.